Good morning. How are you in this workplace today? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope all is well. I hope all is well with you today. Good morning, good morning, and good morning. We're talking about influence, integrity, and impact. Influence, integrity, and impact. I had the opportunity, my light's not working. Hopefully you can all hear me now. So once again, good morning. This is Yvette Owens, and welcome to Company Culture with Yvette C. Owens, where we explore the behaviors that influence the impact of organizations, influence how people perform within the organization, the organization is able to serve their clients, provide products. And today I wanted to talk about influence. When we take words or misuse words, we really construe them. And so when we say, oh, she was influenced by him, or they really influenced him to do X, we really mean and influenced him to move in a direction that was not proper. When we hear, oh, that organization really influenced the community to adopt some practices that were not really favorable, what we really mean is manipulation. So again, welcome to Company Culture with Yvette C. Owens. I am Yvette C. Owens. I'm known as the business ambassador, where we talk about on company culture behaviors that influence the outcome, the results, the profitability line, but most important, the behaviors that impact those who you've invited to come along with you on the journey to fulfill your vision, to fulfill your mission. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube at Yvette C. Owens, or on Facebook at the Diplomat Chronicles. Also Destiny Speak or Yvette C. Owens. I'm also on Twitter, and you can find me on LinkedIn at Yvette C. Owens. And again, we're talking about the power of influence, and using it in the most positive way. And when we think about that, we should think about it in using it more. I'm coming to you today to talk about it so you can use influence more. But how do you do that? And the first point is that you must not construe it or mix it up in context when you really mean someone is being manipulated, which is a negative connotation. And the real difference is the intent. The intention, your motivation, your why. Why are you trying to move an organization or a person from point A to point B? That's the complete difference between influence and manipulation. Manipulation is a negative word. You're trying to move them from point A to point B with negative intent. Did you get selfish gain, or you want them to do something that will harm them, or you're going to, as a business, you just really want to get the profits in. You want to get the greater market share. So you promise things that you don't really plan to deliver. Or how about this? You want to deliver, but you're unable to deliver. You don't have the capacity to do it. I've run into this several times, even in my search for and my growth and investing in myself. I've run into those who promise to deliver, when they couldn't or had no intention to. So they didn't even seek out to make sure that their team was capable of delivering what their clientele needed. Influence, on the other hand, and that's where I want to spend the time this morning, is on a positive note. Your intent is for the good of the organization. Your motivation is for the good of those involved and around you. You want a positive outcome, and that positive outcome can be for you, the person, the leader, your organization, as well as your clients, your constituents, your customers, your stakeholders, your investors. Most definitely, influence does not have to, you don't have to use influence simply as a one-way tool. And I think that's why some of us may start to fall into manipulation, because you're thinking about you and not thinking about the other. No, absolutely. Influence, you should be going for what I call the win-win, what we call the win-win scenario. So how do you do that? You understand what the need is. You understand where people want to go. You understand what are they trying to achieve. Now, do you have what they need? Do you have the capacity to get what they need? Do you have the ability to deliver what they're looking for, the very exact thing they need in the right time and in the right place? If that's the case, then when you're sharing what you have, when you're sharing your skills, when you're sharing your services or your products, you're sharing it in a way to relate to the need. So often you hear me talk on company culture about the currency, or talking from the frame of reference of someone. That's really utilizing influence for the benefit of both of you. Hey, you need to be able to equip your leaders to be able to engage their teams, to be able to help their teams take ownership of the projects, to be able to really go beyond just the vision that you put out there, just the requirements that you give them, and to put themselves and their expertise in that space, and to make that vision and that mission far greater than even what you, the visionary, saw. So how do I do that? How do I influence them to become owners? How do I influence them to use their expertise? How do I influence them to feel more comfortable to bring their whole self, their authentic self, so we get a phenomenal outcome in the end, right? So that's using influence in a positive way, where I'm going to get, as the leader, as the visionary, what I believe I'm to bring to the world, and those who come along with me in the journey are also going to realize their strength. They're going to be stretched. They're going to be moved from maybe just sitting back and waiting for someone to do and tell them what to do. They will move from being order takers to being leaders, more stronger leaders. They go from simply rote and doing things without even thinking, to engaging emotionally. They become more socially aware. They become able to self-manage. They become self-aware, and they can give their very best to the effort. That's what influence is. We, as the visionaries, or the organization, gets exactly what we need, and to fulfill our purpose, to fulfill our mission, to deliver what we've promised. And those who are on the journey with us are in our teams, in our offices, on our administration teams. All of those are our vendors, those who we we collaborate with. We're all now on the same page, and we're all getting something to make a greater impact. So the secret ingredient, as I would like to say, that really helps us to have a most positive intent, so that influence is truly influence and not manipulation, is integrity. Let's say that again. Integrity. Can we all say that together? Integrity. We're being very upfront. We're being transparent in our heart of hearts. Yes, I've said it. In the business world, let's bring our hearts back into the business. Let's bring our hearts back into our organizations. And that's even if you're in a ministry or if you're in a community effort. I know it might sound weird that I'm saying bringing our hearts back. But yeah, sometimes we just keep doing things because that's the way we've done it. Let's bring our heart back so that others will engage their hearts into what you've been called to fulfill. And yes, they've been called or they've been brought to you or they've been compelled to connect with you because they believe in what you're doing. They fully believe in what you're doing. Yet, let's not leave even those who come alongside us, the same way we found them. Let's because we don't want to be the same that we are coming into something, going out of it. Everyone wants to be better. Everyone wants to feel better. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone. And so let's use our influence with integrity. With integrity meaning we're doing the right thing at the right time, with the right people in the right way, for the right reasons. Integrity meaning that you're able and you have the capacity to make choices that may not feel good or may not be the quick end and quick answer, but it's going to be the right answer. It's the right answer. And when you're doing things right, that's right and correct and has full integrity, is full of accuracy, where you're not presenting something to the public or to your teams that you have no idea whether it's true or not. No. And that's different from when you are taking a risk and you're being very upfront about here's the risk we're going into, and you do your very best to mitigate those risks, just like you do to mitigate and reduce the cost when you're presenting something or you're preparing to provide a service or a product to the world. But you want to make sure. Let's make sure that we're influencing and not manipulating. Let's make sure we're influencing and not manipulating. And the secret sauce is your intent. And that intent has to be full of integrity, accuracy, and do the work that allows you to provide even more. Don't promise what you can't deliver. We often talk about under-promise, over-deliver. Say what you can do and do more, because even in the process, as you learn and as you're moving, you may increase your ability to do more. That's fantastic. But never promise what you can't deliver, because that is full of lack of integrity. That's full of deception. That's where you start to move into manipulation. So I hope this has helped you today. Remember, influence that's full of integrity will yield you the greatest impact for yourself and for those that you are along the journey with or those that you're trying to help. So I want you to remember that not only as you're bringing services, but if you are even going after a new position, when you're presenting your skills, when you're presenting your experiences and your knowledge, and again, as I said, I often talk in the terms of what's the currency of the person across the table from you? What's their frame of reference? Talk from the perspective of what they need and how you can help fill that need. Don't simply speak from, here are my skill sets, here are my certificates, here are my degrees, Here are the job experiences that I've had. No, don't just talk from that. Matter of fact, don't even start from there because they've already seen that on your resume. Speak from the perspective of, you have this need, here's the gaps. Ask, what are the gaps that you're trying to fulfill? And then now speak to how you, and all that you have in your wonderful package called you, can bring what are bringing to the table to help them fulfill those gaps, to close those gaps, and to be able to help them take their vision to where they didn't imagine they could go by just bringing you into the position that they're trying to fulfill. Always speak from a frame of reference from the person you're trying to influence. Always speak from their currency. What's most meaningful to them? That's when you'll get the attention of those that you're talking with. That's when you'll have the greater influence. And when you can deliver on what you're saying, you're coming with full integrity, and you will have a greater impact for yourself and for those that you're talking to. It's been a pleasure for me to share with you. Again, I'm Yvette C. Owens of Company Culture. My platform, the Diplomat Chronicles, and my organization called the Destiny Speak. Connect with me. Leave your questions with me. I'd love to see them. If you have comments, share them. I'd love to respond. If there's other things that you'd like for me to share with you, please leave them and I will do that. Until next Wednesday, keep looking up. Keep going forward, influencing with positive intent and full of integrity so you can make the greatest impact that the world is waiting for. Have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you and